This is your daily market review for Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. FOMC day. Well, look at that. The Fed's losing control. I don't know what you want to describe it as we said 1,000 times, be careful with the AI hype, pump bubble. Long term, be very careful, in my opinion. IWM's not confirming at certain things, the economy, within the economy showing dramatic slowing quickly. And go on record, as I'll say it over and over, the Feds have never navigated a soft landing with the amount of rate hikes they've done or more. So at this point, please be careful. If they decide to pump in more liquidity because it's election year and really try to get, I don't know, super jacked, well, then inflation kicks in. And if they, continue to raise rates, then they'll have to try to kill inflation. It's kind of a double-edged sword, which I would argue that they screwed up years ago, and that's the position they're in. And they'll blow bubbles and they'll burst bubbles. And so what's the next bubble to burst? You know what it is. So if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room. Link in the description below. It's earnings season, so be careful. Well, hopefully you watch these videos. Now you're going into the end of the month, first and last 3 business days. Well, I mean, I guess that's essentially where we are at. Excuse my language, the last day. Check out those videos too. Where is that little sucker? Anyway, point being, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. Update on the website. It's getting close to being done. Check out the markets. Please be careful with interactive brokers. And also, if you haven't read the books, click on these links, please. I think I'll get 3 cents. No, I'm just kidding. Like, it's a good referral. Read the books. I mean, that's everything is based off. Trading around probabilities, understanding the market makers, volume price analysis, recurring tendencies, seasonality, yada, yada, yada. Also follow on the Twitter, posting what we're up to and what we're watching. So again, appreciate you guys. Let's get into the deeperness. Deep. Let's go deep. So we said 0% chance of a rate hike. There you are. Feds announced nothing today. They're just talking out the side of their ass. And as of right now, I mean, again, you can say hawkish, whatever. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. So just, we don't know what's coming. We've talked about the rate cuts show dramatic economic growth. Well, do they have to raise rates? Because right now they're already too high. Yikes. Inflation, they got to stamp it out. Bitcoin. If you're new to Bitcoin or you've been trading forever, it's technical. We talked about watching for the trap, breaking out, fake out, talked about a 20% pullback, at least going into the ETF release. You hit 20%, now you're chopping around. Be careful. Again, I don't trust Bitcoin, commodities, any of this stuff until the Feds pivot. And then they'll pivot after what? Things get worse. Oil, pop, flop, drop, chop, as we call it. Just be aware. There's a huge short interest, but there also is essentially limited downside over time because the U.S. needs to fill the strategic petroleum reserve, and we know that ain't going to be easy. Nat gas, oh man, I forgot to reload the right chart or the right ticker, but we love nat gas here. Again, there is downside potentially with, demand destruction, but I don't think there's much. And so pick and choose your battles. I think I wouldn't necessarily go long UNG, I might just short KOLD. And if you did that, and you're up near the 110 plus, it's looking pretty Gouda cheese. So again, we know the Feds are stuck. They don't know what to do. They're just firing at the hip. Yellen's an idiot. They should have refinanced all of our debt years ago. However, China stimulating the rest of the world is a mess. I mean, again, they need to try to hold on to some sort of semblance of credibility. Dollar seems to be holding up. TLT. Watch the 93s. So far, so good. Decent volume. I would watch this 97 area. I mean, is it breakout? We'll see. The VIX talked about as a gift down here, but you know what? People just ignore that. And again, they just see the hype. They run with it. Be careful. Vixen, well, what do you know? Holding up the VIX we talked about. There were some games going on here. Look at that double bottom. All right. Seems like volatility starting to pick up. SPY. Are you surprised we pulled back? No, this morning people said professional gap. Said yesterday, be careful up here. Again, I got stopped out of my last shorts. Again, take your losses. That's part of the game. Be careful. Now, professional gap, big volume off the highs. Oh boy, oh Nelly. We talked about like this trap up here, and then the fake breakout on the weekly, monthly, whatever you want to call it, could be a wick. Red alert. Red alert. Because again, why we said QQQ is starting to lag, chopping, right? Leader starting to lag, laggard starting to lead. Trash up last, right? We said that IWM, it's 20% off its highs. Look at today's action. Not bullish. DIA has been an anomaly, holding up pretty well. Got to give it credit, but man, that looks like an outside reversal bar. Be careful. Gold, as we said, wait for the pivot. No one listens. I get trolled constantly. Again, I'd rather be late than early because I think there's plenty of other trades potentially out there in my mind. Long-term, gold's a no-brainer. Silver, same thing. But trade what's best. I mean, you only have so much capital. These things look like big, choppy, sloppy ranges. Same thing with the GDX and the miners. We talked about these. They're not ready for prime time until the Feds pump liquidity, because if there's credit issues, miners rely on credit. The perception is they're part of the S&P 500. They will get flooded, flopped, smashed. They always do. AG, same thing. Been acting like crap. AEM, again, if everyone knew these things were going higher, then why do these things just look stuck? AEM, Newmont, man, it just closes at the low of the day. It tries to pop. You have a reference gap, but I just don't want, I mean, if you have to trade it, define your risk. It makes sense. You have references, but I just don't think I'd be in a rush. I'd wait for the puke. I'd like to see them like my ideal scenario for the miners, break channel lows, range lows, whatever you want to call it, blow out people, then we bottom. Taiwan Semi said this is the easiest short of the century. If China's going to surround the island, China's got issues. I mean, their growth has been negative year over year, 2 years in a row. But again, pricing in higher multiples. Good luck with that. Jay Solstice 2-day range. Congratulations. Again, I give credit where credit's due. When someone makes me see something, he said that, and I was like, you're right. Why not? We talked about being careful in front of earnings. Runs up. You finally hit a 2-day range. It didn't confirm, and so I waited for day 3, which a little late, but 118 ain't bad. You got it multiple times. Micron, we talked about, is a POS. No growth. Same thing. Holding up. But, well, AIO. AMD, thought their earnings were pretty crap. Then again, we talked about big volume at the highs after that big run. The risk is not to the upside. It's to the downside. Ten cuidado. NVDA. The stock that shall not be shorted, I guess. But at this point, just again, I mean, pick and choose your battles. Intel, we talked about this. Look what happened with earnings. Ugly. SMH, if you shorted and bought Soxus in the 4s, looking good so far. Really good, actually. So, I mean, you have a blow off top, a professional gap, lower lows, lower highs. Adobes. We talked about retesting the high. Okay. Looks like a trap. Apple. My friend thinks it's going to 170. If Aaron is right, again, he has puts expiring Friday at 170 going to earnings, as I warned him. 2 out of the 3 outcomes destroy his puts. His 180 puts. Chop, sideways, or a pop in Apple. Now we know earnings is a crapshoot. If you have options, profits, big ones going into earnings, please be careful. Give yourself time. Why would you give yourself 3 days? Again, if it gets there, I'll give him credit, but in my mind, it's already down a bunch. I don't know if it'll break 180. It seems like the floor. And if the floor holds, then his options get crushed. I would take the profits as the implied volatilities grow going into earnings, and you get better premiums. Amazon. What do you see? Professional gap down. Again, new money, new month tomorrow. Don't be surprised if you catch a little buy the dipper, right? Meta, chopping. Again, I'm amazed that people are buying this, considering Zuck is literally selling every share possible to build a bunker in Hawaii. CRM, we've talked about this, is when it's been strong. Don't jump in front of it. GOOG, look at their earnings. Look at their results. Not even necessarily results. Just look at the reaction. Shikes. This is why you don't chase up. You never know when the earnings does this. Also, the higher something goes, the more likely profits are to be taken. Talked about on the live chat today. If you get a minute and you want to hear comedy, you want to get some insights, please check it out. Talked about Microsoft. I'd be surprised if this wasn't at the top. Long wick, outside reversal, totally flip with volume. NDAQ said this dozens and dozens and dozens of time. Be careful. Man, look at that wick. I mean, that unreal. Trap, and then it turns right around. You know what? Let's put a freaking Let's put a bow on that one. I got to save this. And that is not the up candle. No. We want the red Rojo down candle. Check it out, right? There you go. So here it is. Here it was. Here it be. MicroStrategy. Again, if Bitcoin's all over the place, I don't know. We said the 20-day and fill the gap. You basically got it. You got a 3-day range. Again, I don't know if you want to short it, but I don't trust Bitcoin at all. But Dan, it's a long term. Again, I like gold too long term, but I don't. Again, when you give me opportunities, I'm not going to just stick to stuff. Netflix, I'd love it. The short up here, you got references. Roblox, we talked about being a turd. Once it hit 47, it failed again. Tesla, again, I like Roblox at lower prices. Tesla, again, the perma bulls. Yeah, good luck. I mean, it's oversold. Maybe it worked off oversold. We've talked about this over and over. Somebody knows something. And again, if President Biden is not reelected, solar, car credit, subsidies, whatever, out the window. Trump has basically said he's going to remove the mandates. Can't be good. Airbnb said, watch the ranges. Well, look at that. Range high, fail. You're welcome. Costco, got to give it credit where credit's due. However, I don't know if I would trust this stuff. Starbucks, look at this earnings move. Look at this. Look at this. Opens high, closes low. Jesus. FedEx, got to hold the 240s. Got to hold them, making new lows. Be careful. Caterpillar said what? Watch. Watch the range highs, but it does have earnings coming up. I would play the trap. If it gaps up and traps, I think that's the easiest short. Nucor said it's tough to trust a breakout if the markets don't follow through. Acting strong, but probably going to pull back. Look at X. Somebody knows something today. Again, as I said, I don't think they'll get taken out by Nippon Steel, but I do think they're higher offers, so I don't know if I'd go crazy about shorting it. Sorry, VALE, chopping around. Got a piece of egg caught in my throat. Boiled eggs for protein. Got to get strong, friends. Yeah, chopping. Lower lows, global growth names we talked about, kind of stuck. Arrow, stuck. I mean, we like these in time. CCJ, the uranium bubble bursting. I don't know. Chopping. Again, long term, again, I think we will be more nuke heavy. Uranium prices have definitely priced in some good times. Let it play out. Let it chop around. CF, we like ag names. We talk about let them just get crushed. I don't know. When people ask what's the downside prices, well, when the VIX spikes over 50 and people panic, that's probably a good time to start looking at it. That's my thoughts on commodities. Same thing, NTR. Same thing with AAPL. Hot diggity. All right, let's get into financials because today was the absolute best day, in my opinion, to short. Big volume, fake breakout. We talked about layering in. Daddy layered in, meaning Daddy Dan, whatever you want to call it. Why? Well, again, I mean, the risk reward. I mean, look at this straight line move. This breakout, and again, we knew once the Fed's kind of flammed. So if you stuck in the FAS in the low 12s, pretty good. Look at the volume. Somebody's buying. If you shorted FAZ or FAS, I mean, same thing. Not necessarily the volume, but look at this stuff. XLF, right? Breakout? Nope, fake out. JPMO trying to break out another long wick. Okay, Morgan Stanley had it's been dead. Bank of America, dead. Meaning, look at this. Like, this looks like a novice gap in a outside reversal. I mean, it's not a total outside reversal because you didn't close below yesterday's low. But put that on your radar. I mean, again, we saw, I can't remember who was it, earnings came out, but the stock got crushed. Look at the KRE, y'all. Look at the KRE. Yikes. Not bullish. Holy shiznit. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, just look at it. The average volume is 14.7 million shares. What did we do today? 40 million shares. Somebody wanted the hell out. XBI, we talked about 90s challenging to get over. Be careful. Again, everything looks like it's about to sequence in the wrong direction for the markets, meaning down. TAN, we've talked about the easiest short on planet Earth. At the highs, now at the lows. Just be careful. Again, I mean, I think these names like SEDG, ENPH, the individual names go lower. Man, remember when you shorted this up here? Good win. ENPH, again, I just be careful down here. I mean, they have earnings coming up. I don't personally have a preference. I'd rather just wait for pops. And then if you miss them, just get into other names. Look at that, right on the 200-day cross. HYG, I've said this 1,000 times. You got to be higher than a ma. Man, you high, bro. Like Chris Tucker from Friday. Like, why would you buy corporate debt? You got to be crazy here. Oil, gas, going to be volatile. Going to be volatile, right? UNG, I said if you're going to buy it, check around the 18, 19 area. It just reverse split. I like when these things reverse splits. Then usually that's when they top or bottom. Cold, KOLD, not with a C. Killer K. Looking interesting. Again, it's decays. When you zoom out, you see why we like this as a short long term. It's just a decaying piece of crap. If natural gas just stays here and goes ever so slightly higher, this thing will get absolutely throttled. XOP, again, oil and gas name. We said they're going to be volatile. Hits the 200-day on the dot. Flop. ExxonMobil, talked about being oversold, rallies back, chopping around. These names are just really choppy. Be careful. MPC, breaking out or a fake out. Again, channel high. That's tough to ride that donkey any higher. If I was in your position, Valero, again, gas names, they seem to be holding up well. Just choppiness, and then it breaks out. Is it going to stay? I don't know. CVE, again, this has been a takeout target, February options, but I don't know. Again, these are names. When you don't know, don't play it. Occidental, we talked about this big monster freaking range. Big range. Not looking good. Again, but it's just easier stuff. EQT warned folks like, oh, people are like, it's breaking out over 44. I was like, let it break out. See if it does. And last but not least, Flex LNG. Again, I think we'll be natural gas exporters. The stock has an 8% dividend yield. Congress is obviously loading. Do yourself a favor. Let it come in. Let people throw this away when they shouldn't. So if you have any questions, again, please reach out. Always here to help. If you have any questions about real estate, please don't hesitate to get involved. Let me know how I can help you. I appreciate you guys. Love support. All you guys are amazing. I appreciate even the people who are in the chat necessarily agree with. Again, watch that live chat. If you like comedy, purely just talking about the mindset too. Again, if you believe in certainty, you believe your gut's always right, and you're right 10 times in a row, at some point your gut's going to fail you because your gut and what the market are going to do don't matter. They don't relate. I'm sorry. Again, whether you want to believe in voodoo, you want to believe in your gut, go right ahead. Be careful. Just remember, every trade is independent of the previous one. Just because you won previously doesn't mean you're going to win again. Circumstances, variables change. Talk to you guys and gals later. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, your PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.